Hey, here we are again, America. Deer Hunter DVM coming back at you again. Saturday, January 4th, hunt recap real quick. Colder temperatures have come back into the area tonight here in southeastern Illinois. Had a pretty stiff northwest wind this afternoon and this evening, and brought just a very quiet rain front. It sprinkled here and there, and then sprinkled here and there. I got wet, but it wasn't bad. For the life of me, after I got out of the office this afternoon, I could not decide the best plan of action to this afternoon's hunt. And I just had about a million different ideas, but none of them seemed more strategic than the next. So what I decided to do was just, instead of trying to hunt a certain buck, I just went out on foot with a pair of binos and my bow. I actually ground hunted with my bow for the first time all year, I think. And man, I had a really good hunt. I got close. So I kicked a couple of does out of a fence row by accident. It's always by accident, really, but they were satelliting a standing bean field, and the other side of the fence row was a shelled cornstalk field. So I thought, well, maybe there's something else out there. I worked my way down the fence row where I could see over the contour of the ground, and there were 3 bucks out there, 2 of which looked like 3-year-olds, and the other one was either a 4 or a 5. I'm certain of that. And I still had plenty of daylight to work with, but I didn't end up getting him. I backtracked a little bit so they couldn't see me, and I button hooked around him up underneath this fence row where 2 fence rows come together in a larger section of timber, and it kind of makes a intersection of the end of the square, so to speak. And I've seen them use that before. Summer, winter, doesn't matter, and there's some big trees to hide behind in there, and I knew that with the way the field lay, the contour, I knew I could get in there without and blowing them off the field, and they were out feeding. And I had a quartering wind, so I thought I could get away with it, and I did. I got within about 75 yards of them, and by the time dark came, they never worked their way towards me. But that 10-pointer that was there is a great deer. I'm starting to get a small relationship with him. I don't really know a lot about him. I do have some trail camera photos of him, but we're just playing tiddlywinks right now. I don't really know what he could blow up into. I really think, if I honestly had to judge him, I think he was probably a 4-year-old that could blow up into a big 5. If he's 4, he's a big bastard for a 4-year-old. So, but when you're on the ground and you got one of these on your hands, I'm gonna shoot him. That's what I'm there to do. That did not work out. So instead of waiting all the way until dark, I realized they were not going to feed my way, so I slipped out the back door, and I actually got away with not only moving in on those deer, but moving away. And I don't know, I like hunting on the ground more and more the older I get, because I know what to do and what not to do, sort of. I know the mistakes that I make before I make them, if that makes any sense. I think turkey hunting has helped me with that, believe it or not. But anyway, I like still hunting on the ground like that. It was a lot of fun, and I got really close to a good deer, and I got to, if I'd have just plopped my butt down in a random stand, I wouldn't have seen crap tonight, probably. But I was glad I went. I'm glad I kind of rallied and got a plan together. And that's, I guess, that's probably the moral of the story here on tonight's hunt is, even when even when you're trying something weird, just try it. You never know what you're going to accomplish. And you can't just go out and keep trying weird stuff that has no strategy behind it, but that was definitely a weird hunt. But I had somewhat of a goal in mind, which is locate a deer that I can cruise in on later and maybe get lucky and put an arrow into one tonight. And that, I didn't get super close enough to draw the bow back or anything, but I got in the fight, and that's the most important thing. If you've got a tag late in the season and you've been going hard from day one, it's real easy on a day like today to just go, I'm not going, or I'm not on a buck, I'm going to kind of give up. You're not going to find me give up ever. I'm going to stay in the fight until either the season closes or I fill that second buck tag. So just do something, even if it's the wrong thing. I feel like the greatest sin, like when you're trying to build your whitetail resume and you're trying to put a lot of deer on the wall, and trying to become a successful mature buck hunter, I think the greatest sin, I think the absolute greatest sin that happens all the time is inaction. Take action, do something, and go. Do it, go, do it, go. Go, go, go. Like, inaction will kill you. And the other, I feel like, greatest sin is believe in your own hype. When you become successful and you have a lot of deer to your credit, I think it's easy to get into old familiar habits that sometimes work, sometimes don't, but lack of growth, I guess, is the way I want to put that. So do your best, stay in the fight, stay active, and don't rest on your laurels. With that being said, I've got a big day tomorrow. I'm going to move in on this deer, I think. So I'll catch you later. Fill those tags if you still got them, boys. Running out of time, and so am I.